Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sometimes, if you're like me, we have some of those days where lowering your gaze is a little bit on like hard mode, like hard difficulty, just because of like situations and environments, stuff like that. And to be honest, today's one of those days for me. Sometimes it's not even, or at least for me at least, it's not even about, oh, I'm falling into, like I'm intentionally doing it or anything like that. Most of the time it's just me trying to look away from something and then something else pops up, comes up. Or you try to avoid one thing, you get hit by another, and situations, sometimes like that day is like just a test, but it's very important that first of all, you have the consciousness that every time you see something like that, you should be like almost like flashbanged, you should look away immediately, obviously, say astaghfirullah, and be conscious of, okay, I'm not gonna let that happen again. Like I'm gonna have the intention that you don't want that to happen again. And the thing that helps me the most is, like right now it's like fourth period, so it's like halfway through the school day, and like I just prayed the Dhuhr, right? And this part of the day, especially on these days, it's like the best because it's like the refresh. I come here, I pray my salah, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness, for maghfirah. And I have hope that inshallah have hope that he forgives me. But there's still part two. I still have two periods remaining of school. Obviously, I have to go through the hallways and stuff like that in class. Some classes worse than others. But it's just about maintaining a constant state of taqwa, of God consciousness, of mindfulness, trying to distance yourself away from the evil. But something that is important to know when you're trying to distance yourself from the evil, especially the fawahish, is just to have something you're focused on, If you're doing like let's say I'm at school, for example. If I'm at school and I'm doing an assignment and I'm just listening to like the seerah or something, I'm gonna be like focused, like hyper focused, especially if I'm looking down at the work. Sometimes like if there's like someone at your table, a woman that's at your table that you can see in the peripherals or whatever, you just try to like turn away. Or even what I use is I like take my water bottle and I'll put it on the desk in the way of like the person, so I don't see them by peripheral as much as possible, or at least like their hawra. But it's just basically trying to maintain your discipline, doing whatever you can to maintain your shyness, your hayat. And just maintaining that until the end of the day, so you get home. And then when you get home, it's like a relief, it's fresh of air, you're relieved. It's a little difficult to think about it in like the long term, You know, Ramadan's coming up too, inshallah. Inshallah, it will be, it's the 29th or 28th today. Wait, 28th or 29th? You can see. It's the 28th today. Ramadan should be in like around 2 weeks, maybe a little less than 2 weeks. Inshallah, my state of taqwa is going to be higher than, but also this. But it's a little not scary. I guess I'll use scary for lack of better words. To think about, I'm gonna have to be in Ramadan. You know, I'm gonna be in Ramadan, in this environment. It's gonna be a little tough. And I've been here before last year. You know, last year in Ramadan I was here. You know, it's just about getting better. You know, improving from year to year. You know, I've dealt with this before. Especially with lowering your gaze during Ramadan, so inshallah I do better this year. I have 2 minutes. But yeah, that's basically it. I don't really have anything else to say. Do I? The thing that kind of keeps me going, I'm not gonna lie, is just knowing that I have like 80 days left until I graduate. So I'm gonna be out of here. Alhamdulillah. I bet. I'm gonna see you. Assalamu alaikum.